Hey, what's going on, guys? It's been a while since I put out a video, and before I even get into what I want to do today, I would like to thank all my subscribers. I just recently hit 1,000 subs, which is mind-blowing because, 2 months ago I had like 450. So the Kraton 8S videos definitely helped. I think the first running video I did has over 11,000 views. And for me, that's pretty impressive. I mean, I'm not, Rich Duber Bash and RC Dude, and I do this for fun, and it's really nice to know that there's people actually watching my stuff. And I just want to again thank each and every one of you guys that subscribe. And if you don't subscribe, that's fine. But if you want to, just hit the button. I haven't been putting out a lot of videos lately. It's been cold and shitty up here in Connecticut. I don't really like to bash in the winter. It's not the snow or whatever, it's the cold weather. Plastic, RC plastic and sub-freezing temps do not mix, and you just break stuff more than you do in the in the summer, and it's just not worth it for me. I've also been really into my Kraton 8S, and I've been it's been a project, and I'm still kind of working on it. So let me catch you up with what I've done with my Kraton S, as you can see with 8S, which is in kind of pieces right now. All right, so the last time that I ran this truck, when I did that snow bash, I was running the Max 5 ESC stock motor, and I was running a 23 tooth pinion. So at that point, M2C finally came out with their chassis, which I have bought. It's beautiful. It's not totally, polished like he does his other ones, but I didn't care. I mean, he had, put these up for sale and let everybody know that was going to be the deal, and I didn't care because I just wanted one. So the install was super easy. I can't imagine bending this thing. It's really sweet looking. So I put that on there, and I also got the motor mount. So once I got, actually that's not it. This is the motor mount over here. So I installed this motor mount, and then I went ahead, and since I had the motor mount now, I decided it was time to go with, the big can. So my hobby shop, Danbury Hobby, had this guy on sale. It is a Fuse 1/5 scale motor, 800 kV, 6 pole. It's a 57-114 with an 8mm output shaft. It's pretty close to what I was originally looking for, which was that Hobby Wing, which I think is a 57-113, 800 kV. The price was right on this. He had it there. He didn't have any of the other ones that I was interested in, so I got this. So using the M2C motor mount, the biggest pinion I could fit on there was it's the Mod 1 spool gear for the Infraction. It's this guy right here, 34 tooth. So I put that on there. I also changed out the servo. I put one of these Spectrum S9020s in there, which has got a ton of torque. Not the fastest guy in the world, but it does have a lot of torque. And in order to fit this, you need to basically just rebuy I guess the electronics compartment that's under here. And when you do that from Arrma, they give you the optional tray bottom, which has the space to fit the 5th scale. Let's see if you can see it in here. Let's get that in there. That's not really. It's going to be tough. Hold on. The 5th scale servo. It's right there. So it's just a little bit longer, and you need that in order to you get that servo in there. So did that. That went in pretty easy. You got to be careful when you're putting that servo saver back on that you get it on there right. I did not the first time. I also, the screw that goes down into the spline the stock screw was a little too long, so it was bottoming out before we pushed the servo saver tight all the way down. So I had to just modify the screw. I guess you could just use a shorter one, but I just chose to Dremel it off. So that went in there. I did the carbon fiber. I got the carbon fiber from Amazon. I'll put up a screenshot of where I got it, and you guys can just look that up. So it's just fits right over the the stock bracing. I did have to Dremel out the inside of this brace right here in order to fit it through. It was with the carbon fiber, it just wouldn't fit. So I just kind of widened that up a bit. And then, with the 34 tooth pinion and this giant motor, everything fit in there perfectly. And I took it out for a quick little test run, out in front there of my house. And it just wasn't enough. The 34 tooth just wasn't enough. I was hoping it would be, but I was able to rotate it in the air. I did a backflip, but I mean, it took everything to get it around. It was faster on the stock motor with the 23 tooth pinion than it was with this motor with the 34 tooth pinion. It had a ton of torque. I mean, I tore up my lawn blasting around with this thing, but it just didn't have the speed. So I was kind of forced to go look for a motor mount that would fit a bigger pinion, and I was able to find one on eBay. I honestly don't know who exactly makes it. I heard Fastline or something like that. I don't know. It was like $78 or whatever. They have two versions of it. One's all polished and it's like $90-something, and then I got the cheaper one because I don't really give a shit. I'll put a screenshot of that up in the video so you can see that. But I think most people know about it. But this one will allow you to fit a big pinion. So then I went to sagacustomrc.com, and I got that tip from RC Dude. So much thanks to you, brother, for hooking me up with that. They make all sorts of sizes on pinions. So I got a 44 tooth that's on there now, and I have over here a 40. And then that's this spool gear from the Infraction, and that's my 23 tooth. So these are all my pinions. So I picked up two. I picked up the 40 and a 44, but I'm thinking 44 is going to do it. And I figured I'd be good to go. So when I was testing out, when I was testing out the 34 tooth pinion, I ended up breaking an arm. First time I broke an arm was a rear arm, and it wasn't even on a big, it was I jumped it. I mean, and I'm not going to be like, it was a 2-foot jump and it cracked in, in half. I mean, it was an okay, it was a decent jump, and I landed flat and it just snapped. There's really not a lot to these A-arms. I mean, they took so much material out of them, I guess. I don't know why. Maybe they want them to break, but so that you're not breaking other stuff, but this thing snapped, and I didn't have any. It was because I hadn't broken one, or when I was running the stock chassis, and I did add a ton of weight to this, so maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know. So I ordered A-arms from my local hobby shop, and they are actually there. So my plan today was to run over there, get the arm, and slap everything together and go test this thing at the BMX track. But before I left the house to go to the hobby shop, I just decided to just check everything over. And when I was doing the steering, I had very limited steering. The steering was the travel was like next to nothing. And I was like, what the hell's going on here? So I had to take everything apart. And here is where I made a big mistake. I had noticed that the clip, that C-clip that goes on here, right there, had fallen off the last time I bashed. And I was like, it's in there good. It's not going anywhere. Who gives a shit? So I just left it off there. Well, what ended up happening is that the bearing backed out. Because there's no clip now to hold the bearing in. The bearing backed out. And it was binding my steering. And to make matters worse, the pin, once this bearing is not there, the pin that holds the CVD together, that came out. It didn't come all the way out, but it came out enough that it bent it, and it was a real pain in the ass getting it out. So lo and behold, I could not go and do what I wanted to do today because I need to get that C-clip back on here, and I didn't have any. So I ordered some from Horizon Hobby. I picked 1-day shipping, so hopefully they'll. I ordered them like a couple hours ago, so I'm hoping they'll come tomorrow, if not the day after, and then maybe I can go out and test this thing. Now, I did, test the motor out with the 44 tooth pinion, and I mean it spins, man. It's definitely spins way faster than it did with the 34 tooth, so I think it's going to be good. So I'm really excited to see what this thing's got. My biggest concern is, the cold weather and busting more plastic, busting the A-arms, because I've added a lot of weight. This motor, I think must weigh like 3 pounds. It's gigantic, and it's heavy. And when I've got everything on this thing, when it's all buttoned up and together, and you pick it up, you're like, holy shit, this thing weighs a ton. So I don't know really, I mean, if I do take it to the BMX track, it's going to be a crapshoot. If I do a big jump and land it, I got a feeling I'm going to be busting, the arms or something else. So, but that's why I want to go and test it out and see what's going on. So that is the state of my Kraton 8S. One other thing I would like to point out is that I got this awesome mod, this sticker, this Bickety Bam sticker that I got from my brother from up north in Canada, Notorious J. Check out his YouTube channel when you get a chance. But he just sent these to me in the mail. I mean, he got them made up for me, and we're kind of friends through the Arrma forum, and so we've talked, and he had my address from other things that we've shared back and forth, and I went out to my mailbox, and I had a whole envelope full of these. So these are going to be going on my other truck. So thank you very much, Notorious J. That was an awesome thing to do. It looks great on the truck. So anyway, so yeah, that's it. So if anybody's interested in seeing the size comparison of the stock motor to what I got on there, you can get an idea here that it is just way bigger. I don't even know how to put it down, but you can get an idea. It's fatter, it's longer, it's just it makes this one look like something out of like one of the 3S trucks. It's big. So quick couple thoughts on this motor mount. It is not M2C. I mean, it is very apparent it is not M2C. I wish M2C would make one like this that would fit the bigger pinion, but as of now they don't, so I had no choice. I mean, it's not junk, but it's just the fit and finish is nowhere near as good as M2C, and it was a ton of money compared to M2C. So, but whatever. I mean, I had no choice. I mean, if I want to run this low kV motor, I need a big pinion, and in order to run a big pinion, I need a motor mount that will let me do it, and this is what they had. So before I end the video, I do want to give some special mentions to the people that have really helped me get into this and make my videos. And the first guy is going to be Richard Duperbash, and he was just the first guy that I actually saw when I was Googling this stuff on YouTube, just to see what these trucks were about. And I saw his stuff, and just his driving is you can't beat it. It is top quality. But he's got a great delivery, really positive guy, great laugh, just really enjoyed his stuff. And he was really what kind of like motivated me to start doing something with these trucks, like jumping them. And then the next person is going to be RC Dude 81, aka Eric. His stuff was I saw, it's like, I think it was his intro when I heard like kind of like heavy music. I'm like, all right, this guy's, he knows what it's at, what's going on here. And I saw him drive, and I was like, holy crap, this is awesome. And he was one of the first guys to actually comment on my videos when I had like I don't know, 40 subscribers, and hardly any views. But he would actually comment on my stuff, and it made me feel good. I'm like, here's a guy that he's successful on what he's doing. And he's, commenting, and it just, that really gave me the motivation, to stick with it. And then there were all the other YouTube channels that I watched. I loved watching, Arrma-RC Playground. Vass does like, I mean, his production is top quality, so well spoken. You won't hear an and like I do. I'm like every 2 seconds. His stuff is great. He really does, such a good job from his unboxings. And I don't watch unboxings, but I love his. And just you get a lot of really good, info, from him. And another thing that I would like to thank is the Arrma forum, armaforum.com. If it wasn't for that website, which is run by a guy named Woody, like the Toy Story. It's just such a phenomenal resource. I learned so much. I mean, when I first started with this, 2 years ago, I was clueless. And there's a bunch of guys on there that helped me out in the beginning. This guy Jerry Rigged was huge in helping me with my Mega at the time. It was a Mega Granite. I had a million questions. He answered them all. And then to this day, I mean, there's just so many really intelligent guys that know what they're talking about, on that forum. So they were a huge help. And last, I have to thank Notorious Jay, who I met on the forum. Actually, he came after me, and I used to really break his balls in the beginning, but he turned out to be just a great friend. And it's kind of rare that you meet somebody on the internet you actually become friends with. I'm hoping to have him, in this spring so we can do a bash together. It's going to be awesome. But he's just a solid dude. Always had my back. And just I needed to thank those people specifically. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. Again, thanks for all the subs. I really appreciate it. You guys are the best. I will be bringing you videos once it warms up. I will get out there and get you a video of this thing when I first test it out. So you'll see, what's going on. It may bust an arm in the first, 2 minutes for all I know, but I will definitely get it on film, and I will get it out to you guys. So anyway, I will see you the next time I am out. Peace.